Okay, today we're going to be working with colored pencils, variety of colors. You have your set there, and we're going to be concentrating on patterns. Now, this is a sample that my daughter did, and she really likes these small, intricate patterns. We're not going to do something as detailed as that, but I will walk you through it. Okay, I just wanted to give you an idea of what could be done on the fish. So I have given you a fish, a paper with a drawn fish on it. So if you'll get that out, and I'd like for you to take the fine point black Sharpie and trace the lines that I provided for you. And then we need a little circle there for the eyelight on his eye, and we will be coloring with black Sharpie the area outside of that no colors circle. So I'm going to stop the camera for just a moment, put it on pause while you trace the lines on your paper. Okay, now that you have your lines traced, we'll start working on the patterns that are going to be on the body of the fish. And I'd like for you to take your regular pencil, and like I said, we're going to be doing a simpler pattern than what Leah did on hers, but we're just going to do kind of a stylized scale. So we're going to have U within U's, right? And we want them to look like they are overlapping a little bit, like the scales on a fish, right? They're kind of layered. And then we have what will be a black circle. And then we can do another one here. And these are all very random, so don't worry about yours looking exactly like mine. What they all have in common is that you have that black dot at the very bottom or top of it. Okay, so keep working your way back. So obviously when they are overlapping, you're not going to see everything on your pattern. I would suggest that you not make these too small, just because it can get rather tedious making all of these lines. Squish some in here. And then you can just kind of figure out how you want to do up here in the tail when making them a little bit smaller and smaller. Okay. So once you have that done, I want you to take your ultra fine Sharpie, and we're going to go over the lines that we just created. So we're going to trace those and color in the black dots with our Sharpie. This is why I didn't want you to make the scales too small. because this part could take a long time. And while you're tracing, I want you to start thinking about what colors you would like to make the fish. Look over your available colors in your pencil set. Oh, and make sure that you have a pencil sharpener nearby. The colored pencils, the lead is softer than a regular pencil, and so you'll probably need to sharpen it once or twice through the project. We'll put that, you can just see a little bit of that center circle. And so you're just going to work your way all the way back to the tail. Again, just make sure that your patterns are overlapping each other. All right, we're done with that part of it. Now I'm going to, well, I've got the ultra fine Sharpie in my hand. I'm going to go ahead, color in this eye. It's just a little bit easier to do it with a finer point Sharpie to get around that no colors circle. Okay, so now we need to do something with the fins, okay? So we're going to put some center, and notice that the center lines that I'm drawing are curved. They follow the curve of the fish, excuse me, of the fin. So we don't want them to be just straight. We want to use our line to evoke the idea of movement. And then we'll do another one on the tail. There you go. Okay, now it's time to start coloring. So this can be lots of different colors. You can make a color that is present in each scale, or you can do them completely random. It's really up to you. But we haven't used our colored pencils too much thus far. Colored pencils are soft enough that you can blend them together, but we don't need to for this particular project. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to use this nice orange. for all of the scales on the outside. So I'm going to make a pattern with one scale, a pattern of colors. So, and then I will repeat that pattern on each of the scales. So my next layer will be another color. Okay, so I have the start of my pattern, right? Orange, pink, and let's see, I think the next one will be green. And then, of course, the little black dot. So that's my pattern that I'm going to keep going with till I reach the tail. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video while you work on all of the scales, and then I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. Okay, you should have all of your scales colored in using your pattern, and then you'll see that we have some small areas that are not covered by scale, so we need to apply some color to that. So you need to just look for where that little white space might be in between your scales. We've got a little bit right here. And this will just tie all the fish body pieces together. Got one here. And a little one right up here. So now I'm going to kind of inspect to make sure I've got all the white covered up. A little bit right there. Okay, so now we need to figure out what color we want the head to be. And I am going to go with a little darker purple. And we're just going to color all around. Nice short steps, again with strokes, excuse me. Again, with what we typically do is we go with the line and then we fill it in. We're going to leave the eye just black and white. And if you want, I'll pull you can use a piece of paper toweling or a Kleenex in this larger area. If you want to blend your pencil a little bit, you can do that. Or you can leave it as is. The blending just kind of softens it just a little bit and makes your individual marks not quite so noticeable. They don't blend as easily as the oil pastels that we've used, but still you can move it around a little bit. You can layer it with two colors together and blend if you'd like. Okay, so now we are ready for the fins and the tail. So I'm going to make these center stripes one color. And then I'll do the outside of this stripe a different color. And you can move your paper around so that you don't smudge your pencil. That makes it easier for you. And then I'm going to use a yellow. Kind of wish I'd see a fish with all these different colors in real life. That would be fun. But that's the beauty of art. We can make wonderful imaginative things that we can then hang up on our wall or to look at. We don't have to be grounded in reality all the time, right? Art is my way of escaping. Turn that around. Okay, so we've got the fins done. Now we just need to do the tail. And I think what I'm going to do is, again, do my stripe, different color. And then I am going to do around the stripe another color. And let's see, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to pick up this color of purple again, just to kind of tie it all in together. Okay, so there you have your completed fish. Now, you have some options on how you want to finish this. The first is that you just sign your name down here and put a date on it, and you call it an art day. The second idea is that you take a pair of scissors, cut it out, and then glue it onto another colored piece of paper. Make sure that you water down your glue just a little bit so that you get it, and use a paintbrush so that you get it nice and sticky, but also flat. Okay, so you could do that if you have construction paper, or if you have a cool like blues scrapbook paper, just whatever you have laying around that's large enough to accommodate the fish. Or you can do the technique that I had Leah do, and I don't know if you remember, but you can take the wax resist method. You can take white oil pastel and make like bubbles or waves shaped. Make sure that you press down very hard to leave a lot of the oil pastel there. And then you can get out your watercolor set, and you can paint in various shades of blue, and as you paint, the bubbles will show through a little bit. So those are three options. You can use do whatever you feel you want to do with this. Again, you can leave it as is. You can cut it out and glue it onto another piece of paper, or you can do the wax resist. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed making a nice, fun fantasy fish, working on some patterns using your colored pencils. And I will see you for the next art lesson. You take care until then. Bye.